You can't fool me. You can't fool me. I know you're in with them too.
Friend, I'm going to send you to the hospital. And if you will cooperate with those doctors, I think they'll be able to do you some good.
The female driver hits the red van, dragging the man that was with her for several feet. Then this happens.
Well, I think it's time for you to have your lysergic acid.
Give me all you got! Give me all you got!
The amount of crazy people running around today is an inordinate amount to what it was 50 years ago. My professional opinion is that something needs to be put in place as far as legislation that stops this from happening.
Which they say implies that our universe should not exist. What? Okay, here to talk about this. Perhaps.
And I'm in a really tough position right now because what I'm going against is my parents and a girl who you think might be schizo.
Started laughing. Just how much damage was done. My male companion were far from done. Like Bonnie and Clyde, they were captured on camera trying to flee the scene.
Like I'm going to jail.
For
We're going to bring back mental hospitals, and it's going to be great. You're going to be happy. Uncle Kevin's going to be happy. He can wear his dress on the inside. How it's going to be great. It's so many jobs. So many jobs. So many jobs. But you don't understand the jobs that'll be created from this. They'll say, oh, well, Trump's creating too many jobs. And I'll say, no, there's even more there's to happen. You could be a janitor. You can be anything you want to be within the confines of these mental facilities, these new, beautiful facilities. And we'll open the old ones. We're renovating the old ones, too. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful.
Welcome back, folks. Sorry we had a little snafu there with the whatchamacallit. But yeah, welcome back. We have our guest from last week, who is a 32nd degree Freemason and a Special Forces operator. This is the second part of his big reveal. He's been revealing a lot of stuff. He told us about Freemasonry, and that was too much to mention. We went through a lot of stuff in 2 hours. But welcome back, Mr. G Reaper, or Stephen Benjamin. What's up, Steve-O? You're muted, Steve, if you didn't know. Well, while he's getting that taken care of, again, thank you everybody for coming and hanging out. We'll get it together. The Miami Mall Nephilim. I mean, let me tell you something. I woke up after work from an old man nap, and I probably had about 15 different messages talking about it. I haven't looked into it yet. I haven't had time. So, what are they? Remember what I told you? It's not surprising. Back when they did the thing in Peru a couple of months ago, I said, "What's next? Some village in Maine or something on the Panhandle of Texas or Oklahoma?" I guess they chose Miami with a high Spanish-speaking population. It's crazy to me how they're always doing this to the Spanish-speaking population. You look back in the 60s, what they're trying to do in Cuba. But Steve-O. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I had to go to the bathroom or something. I'll give him a shout here in a minute. But Randy Petticourt, Brooks, Scott B., Abnormal Investigations, Mr. Mike. And Mike did a show the other day I'm going to be reposting on our community page that I think everybody needs to see. All this stuff that's been going on, we finally get to understand why. And this man is in the fight for his life. And what's happened to him is nothing less than disgusting. I would say tragedy, but it was intentional. But I'm going to put that on the community page for all who haven't seen. It's crazy, and I'd ask that you throw your weight behind this man and getting back his son. It's madness. Again, for anybody who has kids, imagine they're taken away from you for some. There's no reason why a child should be taken from their father or their mother, but just imagine if you've done nothing at all, and this happens to you, how angry you would be. So I'd like to say this man has great poise, and I got 10 tons of respect for him. G Reaper. Don't tell me he fell asleep. Said teens fighting with sticks. I'll do a follow-up after this show. I'll take a look at it because I mean, like I said, 15 people have asked me about it. Hey, it's Dogman UK. What's happened between all us? I'm not involved with all that other stuff. I'm out of all this, okay, Dee Doss? Yeah, okay, Dogman UK. I was one of your first supporters, and I forgive you. It's no big deal. Like I said, you know, like the Bible says, if we expect to be forgiven, how can we not first forgive? And not, I got 10 tons of respect for you for jumping in there and saying that. Good man. See, folks, peace can only come from the Prince of Peace. Remember that. Because if you don't have Christ, you can't have peace. You don't understand it. Neither can you have love. So, yeah, welcome back, Dogman UK, and God bless you, sir. Just got to be careful. You know what all this seems like it's coming from? All these nosy Nellies. Like the Bible talks about toting tails between camps. What we're not supposed to be doing. Toting tails between camps, right? So, man, we're getting that crowd built up in here. All the anticipation. I appreciate that, Dogman UK, and I agree. It went way too far. But nobody here has said anything denigrating to you or your channel, and I wouldn't allow them to. So he jumped back out. He's probably going to jump back in. And this is not the way I get down. You know what I mean? Oh, awesome. Outstanding. Thank you, Abnormal Investigations. There he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me question. D and Mike, are you going to do a boots on the ground together? Lord willing and the creek don't rise. So, folks, we got a short commercial for you, and we'll jump right back in there. And I apologize for the delay. So I know somebody's going to be crying and complaining, oh, well, D, he came in and his show was started late because of problems, blah, 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 blah. No, I don't know what people are going to say. I'll see y'all in a sec. All right, there we go. Now, all right. Mr. G Reaper or Stephen Benjamin. What's up, Steve-O?
What's happening, Kev?
Not a lot, bro. What happened?
I don't know. I couldn't hear you.
Because I don't know. You can hear me? Yeah, it said you were muted on my side, but
so
we're on there though.
Came back in. Yes, sir.
I could just I'll go and trim this little piece off. But yeah, man, old UK Dogman came in and apologized while we were getting that straightened up.
Okay.
That's a real man right there. You know what I'm saying?
A
lot of people down the hill. Yeah, it takes a real man to apologize. Like, but see, the thing is, a lot of these dudes, these what do you call them? Beta males. They're too tall. They just won't do it. You know what I mean? They'll die on the hill that they built for themselves, which is made of paper mache. But yeah, people have been anticipating the next. We had like, what is it, 70 people in that last one, I think, or on one of the last shows. But I'll tell you what, folks, hit that like button, hit subscribe, share the video. For the contributors, the links are in the chat below, or in the description box below, and the membership link for all those who want to become executive producers. And yeah, and all the links for all the contributors and all that stuff are everywhere. So jumping right into it. You talked about Freemasonry last time. And we just had a great conversation about how if you want to go down that route, and I think you cleared up a lot of people's misconceptions about Freemasonry too. But we were talking about the getting the fire beat out of you. People better be. I think everybody pretty much knows that, though. The pictures on the Simpsons and all that.
Don't know. Well, they might, but that's one of the big misconceptions.
But is it? I mean, is this something you can? Is this something you can share?
Yeah, I can.
Let me ask you a question before you do, though. Like, since I was one of the Knights of Pythagoras, that's a lot of, like the Cub Scouts for Freemasonry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's that, and like Walt Disney when he was in college and high school was in the Demolay.
All that good stuff. I mean, it's like any fraternity. It's just like a junior step, but you still got to come. You gotta come see the goat.
Right. So when you get these degrees, it's just like a fraternity, like you said. Mm-hmm. For anybody who was in a fraternity in college, you got your ass whooped. They whip you like patting for a dance, like rented mules. So, should people expect anything different? Should people expect anything different if they wish to join Freemasonry? Is it just a slap on the knuckles and they send you on your way?
No, ain't no slap on the knuckles, because you join the right one, they're gonna beat the wheels off of you. And you got some people like in one of the orders I was in, they'll tell your wife, you got a wife, your girlfriend, they want to meet your wife and girlfriend. They want to go ahead and let your wife or girlfriend know. If he come home beat up, banged up, don't be mad. That's what we're going to do to him. But then some people, they just want to get you full of fluff and stuff and get you in there and then put them powers on you. Or they would.
So it's like being initiated into a game.
It depends on what degree. Because it can feel that way. You got anywhere from 3 to 100 people being reaching out, putting an AT&T on you, you know. It can feel like you getting jumped in. You'll never know how many people's in that room until you take that blindfold off.
So that feel like you're falling into a tractor's nuts. 300 people, my goodness. You know, I remember like I said, the Knights of Pythagoras taking the oath or whatever. And I just knew something like that was coming, but it reminded me of The Godfather. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what because we were in high school, and that's the main thing I remember thinking is like The Godfather or The Sopranos. But it does. I can tell you this much: it is inclusive, not inclusive, exclusive. You feel like you, I don't know. just the exclusivity of it, I guess, makes you feel real like you're doing something big. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, makes you feel like you're doing something big, because you're out there serving the community, you're out there helping out with everybody, and like one big family, one big organization from all around the world.
Right.
And it's great till you get involved into the politics. That's the only thing that makes it sour.
Yeah, the politics of it all. It seems like it's a very political organization anyways. I mean, what, all presidents except 4 were Freemasons? Or all except 5 or something like that? You probably know better than I do.
Unfortunately, even your boy Obama was a Mason. Don't ask me how, but yeah.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I can walk up, see him, do a move here and there, and he gonna come talk to me. He's obligated to. He just ain't gonna sit there and look at me and keep walking.
Yeah.
I'll bring his ass up on charges.
So you can bring Barack Hussein Obama up on charges because he's a fellow Freemason?
Yeah.
So, wait, let me ask you this. Who is, well, I'm guessing he'd be the higher Mason, right?
No.
Really?
No. He just might be a third degree Mason. He just might be a regular old Mason. He didn't go no higher. Because he's the president, so don't make him no better than me.
Right, because I mean it's the hierarchy within Freemasonry, right? Not
yeah, I might outrank
what you are outside. So technically, if you were to outrank the president of the United States, and say for whatever reason you found yourself in a social setting with him, you could technically punk him and like no, I don't want to say punk him, but
no,
you know what I'm saying. Yeah, not punk, but like with Freemasonry, it's like a fraternity, right? Like if you tell a lower degree to do something, just like if you tell a freshman to do something, they have to, right? Like, hey boy, go give me that fresco over there or something.
It depends on what order you're in. I mean, what branch. Like if you're in Prince Hall or Scotch Rite, York Rite, yeah, they apply stuff like that. But then some degrees over here that applies.
Right.
So you can work the dog piss out of some of them.
I never told you this. Then I should have asked you off air because this is an off air question. But oh well, who cares? This was years ago. I was in my mid-20s. I was pretty tall, but I got an email one day from it was a local business guy here in town. And I knew him. I went to school with his daughter, but he wanted me to come meet him at the his brothers at the not Waffle House. What do we have here? Denny's. And he was the Grand Poobah or King Dick or whatever of the Scottish Rite Freemasons here.
Well,
and I was Prince Hall, and they said they wanted to talk. I guess I don't know what they wanted, honestly. Like, is that what they want to transition me over from Prince Hall to Scottish Rite, maybe?
Now, if they did, they would heal you. It's called a healing.
A healing?
Only thing they're gonna do is just say the prayer, make you redo your obligations.
Huh. That's crazy.
Now, I just read something that Aborigine just said. Not
Aborigine.
all Shriners, abnormal investigation. Not all Shriners are Masons, but all Masons are Shriners. That's true. Because a Shriner is considered an outside degree. There's outside degrees like the Turtles, Shriners. Not all
the Oddfellows,
Shriners,
stuff like that.
Yeah, not all Shriners are Masons, but if you're a Mason, that's like the top of the iceberg where you go. Not everybody can become a Shriner.
Like Claire Ellis, we talked about this as well. Like, if you play this up, and this isn't a question, but make sure all your questions are in all caps, and we'll answer them at the very end of the show. She says she suspects that Satan is at the top of the pyramid. Just from my dad and my granddaddy, my papa being in Freemasonry, I got to see that book that they're not supposed to let anybody see. I didn't see nothing like that in there. I mean, I could say that since I wasn't in it, but like that, is that a misconception? Or is that something that one of the...
That's a big misconception because, when people always say, it's a secret organization. Just an organization of secrets. But You know, they're not. You can go buy the books at Barnes and Noble, Amazon. There is nothing about Satan nowhere in none of those rituals. I don't read Prince Hall. I don't read York Wright. There's nothing about a Satan, a demon, in nothing. Because if it was something about a demon in there, I got good Christian brothers I grew up with that are 33rds. And to become a 33rd, you gotta put your work in. And I know these good Christian brothers would not change their faith just for a degree. They would walk away. They would leave Masonry and walk away before they just throw their faith away and beliefs just for a degree.
Here's one in all caps. We'll get out of the way. If you can answer this, and as a 32nd degree, is Stephen considered most worshipful by his lodge members?
By being a 32nd degree, you will not be considered the most worshipful. By me being a past master, by me being the worshipful master of my lodge, which was when I was in charge, then I was the most worshipful. That's when you're in charge. And then once you do your 2 years or your 4 years and you have a seat, then you become a past master. But while you're in charge, you're the most worshipful master.
Well, I'm gonna let a cat out of the bag. I'm in a secret organization, and I'm called the most Beastmaster. Oh. Anyway, sorry. All right, that's enough of my lame jokes. All right, so I hope that clears that up. Now, this is what everybody really wants to hear.
Yeah.
Levi H wants to know, is Michael Obama I think Michael Obama would be considered King Dick in the Freemasonry, but that's just me. So I think everybody really wants to know about the underground Atlanta. Now, there's underground Atlanta the only thing I can really find, except for very, very old articles, was there's a mall or something underneath a part of downtown Atlanta. A mall and like shopping center and all sorts of stuff.
That's the Fluff and Puff.
That's the Fluff and Puff, but there really is an underground Atlanta that dates back to the Civil War, allegedly. Is that true?
Yes.
So that's for real.
Yes, and we used to go on school trips down there.
And this is something we talked at length about before, years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But
we used to go on school trips down there when I was a little, but then I bumped into it again later on down the line with some additions to it.
So the real old school downtown Atlanta, where the old tunnels are.
Yeah. Well, like when Sherman came and smoked our game.
Oh yeah, General Sherman, he burned down all of Atlanta, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They just
built over it.
They just built over it.
Yeah.
But there was actual tunnels though before that, they say.
Yeah, old tunnels to where they used transportation to where they were that's getting off. That's another reason why the South lost the war. You know about when they was bringing that shipment of gold down here and they got intercepted. But that's a whole nother story, conversation right there.
Yeah, and that's an interesting conversation. We'll get to that too. But
yeah,
let me ask you this, because you've been probably I don't know how many states have you been to? I'd imagine all of them.
Yeah, all except for North Dakota, South Dakota.
Well, who wants to go there? So you can consider that all of them. Have you heard of any more underground tunnels? Because there's tunnel systems underneath my hometown and other places in Oklahoma. And I've been studying that a lot.
I heard about that my whole life, from a small child to an adult. My dad told me about them.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Washington State, loaded.
Right, and they say they're natural caverns and caves, but they are attached to man-made caves. They ran, man-made tunnels. Like, so when you went in the underground Atlanta, because I remember you saying you crawling through caverns. You want to like start at the beginning when you first discovered it, and then start, because I mean, I'm guessing they have those closed off to the public, right?
yeah, those are closed off to the public. But the way I went down there was a way I shouldn't have went down there, but This was all. Everybody's probably wondering, how did he get down there? This was post 9/11, people. This is back when they had codes and push button locks, and all the codes was the same thing: 0, 0, 0, 0, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 1, 1, 1. That was the code to get into any door locked back then. I don't care where you at. So, you want to know how I got down there again, or?
Well, I mean, I ain't trying to get your game smoke. You know what I mean?
No, I ain't gonna get my game. That's been so long ago, and don't know about. They probably remember me, but you know. But yeah, how I got down there?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I was working at Delta, and you know, and during certain times of the night, and I was there's nothing to do. I was on the third shift. I was there from like 10 to 7, 10 to 8, and I pretty much did whatever I wanted to. I just always been like that. So I was always exploring, going in and out of the buildings, going in through these little doors. And one day I went down this, I was over there by F Concourse, well, it used to be F Concourse International. And I went down this conveyor belt, and I went down this other conveyor belt, and I started seeing these doors and stuff, because I'm sad to say this, but they had little secret locker rooms and rooms with beds in them and refrigerators and food. And, you know, hey, brother had to eat back then, you know, so, or find a good place to sleep. And I found this one door, and it had the lock on it, so I got it out the first rip, 0, 0, 0, 0, and it opened up, clock, 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 and opened the door. It was dark, so you know, I had my my mag light with me. I wonder what happened if I had one of these super bright lights like I have now. But anyway, I went in there, and the light started clicking on, and then there was this airlock on the floor. So me, being the adventurous type person I was, you know, no fear. So I went full retard, and I twisted.
So you're going from the newer tunnels now.
No, I was at the airport.
Oh, this is the air. Okay. Yeah, this one's great.
Yeah, so I opened the airlock, and I shined my light down. It was so black you couldn't see nothing, but you saw the ladder. So I put my light face down on my tool belt, and I put my feet down, touch, make sure it wasn't slippery or nothing, and I started going down, kept going, and I'm getting tired because I'm still going down, but I keep putting my feet out, see if I touch something, and you know, you couldn't see nothing, and I'm wondering, did I miss a light switch up there before I started going down? Now I think about it, if I was a light switch up there, but I didn't care. So I'm going down. Every so often I put my foot down to reach to see if I'm close to the bottom or touching something. Nope, still going down, kicking out left and right. I'm glad I didn't kick nothing, and it kicked me back. Now I think about it. But I just kept going. And
if you had to put it in feet, how many? So you're in this basement area of the airport, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, you decided.
I would say if it was feet, and I was going down that tunnel, and looking up, we'll say about 150 yards.
150 yards? You climbed down a ladder?
Yeah.
Dad gum, bro.
I was fresh out the military, young, feeling in great shape. I did worse when I was overseas, but anyway,
And so this ladder's just leading down in the darkness, and you start
going down. And I'm going down, and so should I go back up? Nah, let's keep going. So I said, you know, I'm sick of this. So I reached in my pocket, and I grabbed some change. And I was feeling it. I said, yeah, that's a penny. I ain't gonna miss that penny. I wasn't finna drop no silver. I let it go, and think. I said, okay, I'm about 20 feet from the bottom. So I'm going down, and I'm tapping. And I feel the floor, and I want to make sure I'm not going to slip off and fall off a ledge. Because I don't know if there's another ledge going down, because I have been on some stuff like that when you get to one platform, now you got to go down another platform.
Right.
This one of them situations. But anyway, so when I got to the bottom and I took a step forward, the lights started clicking on. You know, that was a mode, I guess you would call fluorescent lights back in. When they came on, you heard them. They started lighting up the tunnel. And I'm looking around like, damn.
How big was the tunnel?
Big enough to drive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 18-wheelers side by side. Or
6 18-wheelers side by side. Shit,
yeah,
fire.
going straight down.
Underneath the airport.
Underneath the airport.
Somebody do the math for that for me. 150 yards in feet. Like, because that's a good long ways underground.
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to say you had no business being in that basement.
I didn't have no business going down there because
that sounds like something, you know, you're in the military then.
No, I was in the military, but I was working at the airport. I was on active reserve then.
Okay. But do you think it was an installation? Did it seem to you to be some like military installation, or because that's a huge tunnel?
I think they was transporting stuff.
450 feet. So 450 feet beneath there. But that's a long ways down, bro.
Yeah. And so I'm like, but if somebody came, I knew how to disappear anyway. I've been disappearing my whole life. Well, not my whole life. Since I was in the military, I learned how to disappear. I learned how to disappear in the country too, growing up. So, but if I would have got caught out there, what could I have said? Oops, you got me. But ain't no telling what I would have got though if the wrong person come, because I'm pretty sure there wasn't no Delta employees down there walking around or driving no jet tubs through there, which there wasn't. So I started walking, lights clicking, I'm walking. And so I pretty much know the city. So at that point in time, I'm like, damn, I'm up on the Cleveland Avenue.
How far is Cleveland Avenue from the airport?
Probably about going straight as the crow fly. That probably was about a half a mile.
A half a mile. So
yeah,
it like you're in this thing. You said this tunnel. It's like 16, or you said 6 18-wheelers, right?
Yeah,
6 18-wheelers side by side.
Looking like
how would you
saw on that hard?
Okay, I got you.
Was driving that dump truck through there when they were still in the gold reserve.
How would you say the ceiling was from the ground in this tunnel?
At that point, we'll say about 50 yards high.
And yeah, and just like Levi said, you're about 5 stories down. So, and this was good structure. It didn't look like this was some old.
No, it was solid. There was no leaks. It was dry.
Huh.
And you saw tire tracks through there. So
it was well traveled.
Yeah, it was well traveled. So and I kept my head on the swivel, looking for a place to dart off in just in case somebody come driving down there. But of course, you know me, I'm just walking. Only thing I got on me at that point in time is my mag light, screwdriver, flathead, well, my snap-on screwdriver, my multi-screwdriver. I still got that screwdriver too. A Leatherman and a pocket knife. So
you're down like they're like the Hardy Boys, and some what sounds to me to some secret. It sounds to me like it's a dumb, honestly. But you're trucking along, you're humping it through this tunnel.
Then I get to a split, and I know if I get to that split, the split take you to the west side of Atlanta towards the hood. Towards Bankhead. Well, they don't call it Bankhead. Well, Bankhead and the West End, all that stuff. You go to the hood that way. So I kept going to the right, going towards downtown Atlanta. And I'm just walking and walking and walking. And all of a sudden, you start to smell stale. And it's kind of hard to put into words because then once the stale smell goes, then the lights get a little bit brighter. And then, you see more splits. So I'm gonna stay on this one right because I know if I go back, it's left. I'm going right down.
And you said like stale, something stale, like food or something?
No, stale, like old musty stale.
Oh, okay, like the staleness in the air.
Yeah. Like,
were you near water, like a waterway? Because I don't know if you've ever been
Well, there's plenty of water down there, so I really don't know what that was, but I just
You know what I mean?
going.
That weird kind of pond smell.
Yeah, so now I'm thinking all about that now. Now this was before I got to all them pretty rooms and stuff that was, because they had marble rooms down there, they had lights, you had stairwells, elevators, and all kind of stuff down there. And which I come to find out later, down the line, that's where Marta had stole like $30 million and built them a little underground area down there, a little Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Who?
They got busted. Marta, that's the name of our mass transit system.
So the mass transit system
had stole money and started building their own little underground Pee Wee Playhouse down there.
Like without the knowledge of the state?
Yes. And
that's crazy.
And they kicked one dude out, and he got mad, and he told on everybody. It was a big theater here in Atlanta, boy.
Yeah, that was more than just that public transit. They were probably in bed with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a whole lot of other things.
Yeah, a whole lot of other things. If you remember the first time we had this conversation years ago, there was a bunch of interference with the phone. I don't know if I told you that or not, but like you were coming in, it was weirdness going on. So a lot of this I'm hearing for the first time.
Okay, I ain't no telling why. So then I started getting back to the real underground part of Atlanta. Now that's creepy. They got all these. There's still cars down there. That's flipped over. It's chaos. You can see where there was bullet holes shot in store windows. There still were mannequins. With the dresses on, suits, toys, cars, some cars flipped over, some stuff that was burnt beyond recognition. I ain't gonna lie. I walked up into some of the old stores. I can see if I can find some jewelry or something, you know. I might find something good, some old coins or something. I was looking. I just was lost in the south. I'm talking about full retard.
Now this is like the part of Atlanta that burned down when General Sherman came through.
Yeah.
So it's like just basically preserved down there.
Yes, it's left the way it was. And the creepiest thing was the mannequins.
Yeah, that would have been a little bit much. So you made it from the airport, basically downtown Atlanta.
Straight to crow flies.
That's like a couple of miles at least, right?
Yeah.
And you were working for the airport?
You
didn't you didn't think like anybody would say, hey, wait a minute, Mr. Benjamin's supposed to have been off his break about an hour ago. You seen him?
About 6 hours ago. So I got back, got about 2 hours overtime, clocked out, went home. But anyway,
you got 2 hours of overtime going in that tunnel? That's crazy.
So I remember that. But anyway, but you know, so I'm down there cool with the cucumber. I'm saying to myself, like, if one of these mannequins move, I'm gonna smack the hell out of it. And,
yeah, that would have been ooky spooky.
But now I've been like, oh, time to break out though. But back then, we'd have locked up. So I'm just walking, and it's just still quiet down there. Every now and then, the red line will go over your head going towards the College Park train station. That's the only noise you would hear, and that's the only time you got dust coming from the ceiling. Debris coming from the ceiling was when the red line was going to the College Park train station. But I walked and I looked, and it was just all kind of chaos down there and destruction. And I felt bad for them people who went through that when they was down there. But that was insane. That was pure destruction. Sherman wasn't playing. But it's still to this very day, to me, it's a mystery and it's a marvel of how they just built over the old Atlanta. Like they just built a dome over it and kept it pushing. They just covered it. They didn't try to bulldoze it. They just
those original.
over.
They built over the city.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of weird. Like, why? I mean, you would think it'd be easier to just burn that stuff that was there before and just rebuild.
Mm-hmm. Bulldozer clear out the area, but they built over.
So, General Sherman comes through. He burns down, and this is during the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
He burns the city down. What's left is they build on top of.
Mm-hmm.
So those tunnels, the newer tunnels that are like, so you're going up at an upward slope, I guess.
Yes.
Because I mean, like, I wouldn't think that downtown Atlanta back in the 1840 or 1860s rather be 5 stories underneath where the city is. So
no, Georgia's one big slope going. I mean, the further you up, the higher you up on the I like what it said on the Appalachia, but the further south you go, it's like a downward slope. Like if you're driving from Atlanta down to Savannah or Columbus, Georgia, it's just a downward grade slope. The further down you go, the lower you go down on the totem pole. It's just a downward slope.
Now when you said you got to a portion of these tunnels where it opened up and there were staircases and stuff, and this was the part that, like, so the transit system, which I'm getting in my mind when you said that, that's like probably who they got to front this whole thing, and it was probably one of these rich weirdos. But they had like
they still got it. They have
for sure. But they built like, I guess like a mansion or something, or like what would you say this little portion where you left the tunnels and you got to, was it the size of a building or with the staircases going up and down?
Yeah, it was beautiful. You know, it was all marble and lavish and stuff. They did it. They did it big down there. And
bro, that's when I would have turned back. If I'm seeing marble walls and staircases and hearing voices and stuff, and like, was there lights on in this little portion of it?
Yes, and where I went, they had stationary lights over there. Doss said piss on that.
No way.
If you'd have been with me back then, we about 21, we would have did it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I had somebody with me, I probably would. I would have wanted to go in one of those rooms where the marble staircase and stuff were, and just pretend I was with the janitors or something. Say, hey, you want your office mopped up? You know what I mean? I played the Hardy Boys a time or two. So that I don't think Levi H knows about that. They burned and buried the old city. During during the Civil War, General Sherman, who hated secessionists, burned down the entirety of Atlanta. He burned it completely down, and he killed most of the survivors.
Ripped the railroad tracks off, wrapping around. Now to this very day, I don't know how they wrapped them those cross ties around the trees, because down there where my mom lived, you still got the cross ties, the railroad ties, lines that swish around the oak trees, but now they don't grew out and almost sucked up over the railroad lines. But
they bent them. They bent like the railroad.
Yeah, they bent them.
How did they do that in the 1860s?
I have no idea how they did that. That's what I want to know. But they are wrapped around trees down there. They still are wrapped around trees. The first south you go, like if you go down into like Cayuga County, Meriwether, stuff like that, you can find some trees that still had those ties wrapped around trees.
Wow, that's crazy. See, there's some other type of stuff going on, I believe. You know, Abraham Lincoln mentioned in one of his
Lincoln and the vampires.
Yeah,
I had some abnormal strength to do that, to rap.
Absolutely, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Abraham Lincoln mentioned the giants that were in those valleys. He mentioned the giants that walked the valleys not too long ago. So who knows? I mean, I've never heard that before. I remember somebody making mention of it, but I'm gonna try to find some pictures. That sounds like craziness, because they didn't have any heavy machinery that would bend railroad ties back then.
Because most of the people that was on foot or horseback.
Right. The railroad was just now starting to get up and going.
Mm-hmm. And they just destroyed the railroad lines, and they wrapped those ties all around trees, bent them, slung them in the woods to make sure that we couldn't get no supplies
right
down south.
Yeah, he cut Atlanta off from the world.
Yeah.
So you're on your way back. So you go in through these shops. You find old downtown Atlanta that burned.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you decide to, like? I mean, I'm guessing you realized you'd walk for how long? You said.
I walked for hours. So what made me realize was, damn, I've been gone too long. I've been having so much fun just walking around, looking and exploring. I was like, yeah, I'll come back and check it out later, some other time. Let me get back to work before somebody start calling on the radio looking for me because, I couldn't get no radio signal down there. I was like, if somebody called me, I'll go back, but I couldn't get no radio signal down there. And so when I got back, they was like, Steve, where we at? I was over there working. We called you on the radio. Oh man, my radio dead. No wonder I didn't hear you.
Yeah, you're 5 stories underground. Of course it's dead. Ah, man, that's wild, bro.
I couldn't hear you call, and probably something down there drained my battery anyway. So
you make your way back. You make your way back to the airport. And I'm guessing that's another handful of hours.
Yeah, and climb back up, 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 climb out the little latch, close the hatch, lock it back. Then I had to climb back up those conveyor belts, make sure there wasn't nobody out there when I came out. So then I came out, stole somebody's jet tug that left it there, and rode on back to A Concourse.
Did you ever go back down there?
Nope.
No.
I couldn't find where I went back then. I found it by accident.
We're just wandering around in that basement area.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was checking doors and stuff. I tried to find my way back, but I couldn't.
You know the city fairly well.
Yeah.
And I'm still fascinated with the portion that they were building that but they were caught. They were caught, so this was in the news and stuff, right?
Yes, they got busted.
So, like, where was this at? The portion that they were building for their own little underground amusement park?
About that area where I was at. They probably found that area and they built over it. So.
Oh, so I got you. They built it. They just used the cavity that was left from them building on top of old Atlanta, and just built onto that. That's smart.
Yeah, and they had their own little underground Pee Wee Playhouse, their own little Playboy Mansion down there.
Yeah, that's something else I was wondering. Remember, everybody, if you have a question, put it in all caps, if you would, so we just notice it easier. He says, how is the oxygen level down there? 'Cause, 5 stories underground. Like, I'm guessing it wasn't all 5 stories, but
it was fine. I could breathe fine. I was smoking cigarettes back then, so I was okay.
So they had to have some sort of what do you call it?
Because
some sort
when
of
I was over
air filtration. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, because like when I was over there in Desert Storm, it was 120 degrees over there, and once you got used to that, you could. I mean, it's some people in the chat room that might have went over there to Afghanistan, and they know how hot it was over there. Once you got acclimated and you could breathe, you were just fine. You could crack an egg, and the egg would cook on the tarmac or on the street, and you could see the heat waves rolling back and forth. And some people panicked and freaked out because they thought it was something or somebody waving in the distance. It was just heat waves. So now, I ain't gonna lie to you. Now that smoked my bacon there, boy. I was blue-black when I left away from over there.
Yeah, I bet you were.
I was extra crispy.
Yeah, I mean, it's nowhere near the same type of heat, but going from southern Oklahoma to the Permian Basin when I was working in the oil field, that dry heat, it's a different type of monster.
Mm-hmm. That was the first time I found out that black people could get sunburned.
Hell yes, we can get sunburned. It always seemed crazy to me that people didn't know that.
Yeah, I was about 18 and I came back, and I never forget Fred like, hey, old boy, you got something. I said, man, black people don't get heat. Poked me.
Yeah, I mean, that heat, it may not do it as fast, but it's going to burn the sun's going to burn the skin just like it does everybody.
Yep. That's when I had to start using suntan lotion when I was with it, because yes, I got burnt. I got cooked.
So you look for the tunnels again, but can never find them.
No, I could never find that entrance. I look.
But it seemed like there'd be multiple entrances there because as big as it is and as long as it was, and that's what I was asking about the little part with the marble room.
Yeah, now this
like,
was deserted.
Where do you think that was? Like, since you know the city, like, where would you say that was? You know, if you were driving through the city,
down by 5 points, where they got the federal building at.
Where the federal building is, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Yeah, I definitely want to look into that. Because you got this whole underground cavern thing, just like the lakes, 56,000 lakes, I think it is, in the United States that are man-made, and every last one of them almost has a town or a city or an ancient ruin beneath them. There's a reason why they put those lakes there. You know what I mean? And they're just, geographically, sometimes they're just not feasible to be where they are. So
it's like we have two here. We have boy, I was talking about this one lake. I went out there. That's where I met my first wife. And the second one, well, my dad, he did duty out there for the Army Engineering Corps. And he said he will never go out there again. Because we got one out there. It's what is the name of that darn lake? Shoot, cause we supposed to have a trip out there. One's a real big attraction.
Whereabouts is this?
This is up in North Georgia. That's why I met my wife up there out 400. Man, if I wasn't thinking about, I could tell you. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you what name these lakes are. Oh, yeah, one is Lake Lanier. Lake Lanier. It's up in Forsyth County. That used to be the Ku Klux Klan headquarters up there. A lot of people think Stone Mountain, Georgia was the headquarters, but now Forsyth County, Georgia was, you know. No black people were allowed up there unless you went up there and worked. Then they had to sign. Basically, don't let me kill you.
Don't let sundown hit. Yeah, don't let sundown hit your back if you're black.
Mm-hmm.
This is sundown town, they called them.
Yeah, so Lake Lanier, that's one of the places because I gotta go get re-scuba certified. So either you can go to Lake Lanier and get re-scuba certified, or you can go to down to Mexico and get certified. But a lot of people go to Lake Lanier and they have so many deaths there, but it's like you said, it used to be a town. So they told everybody, all right, look now, y'all need to get some yonder. And so some
told them, go on get.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, get now, yes.
Get some yonder.
So some people didn't, get some yonder. So what they ended up doing was they opened up them floodgates and they flooded.
Lord.
And they flooded the whole city. So, you got people that go out there scuba diving. And, if you're in the audience, look it up, Google it. There's a church. And a lot of people got drugged into the church by some invisible entity.
Oh, wow.
A couple of people.
Was the church the high grounds or something?
I don't know. The church is underwater. Everything's underwater.
So an invisible entity drugged people into the church before they flooded it?
No, this is recently. Anytime you go up there, you can go there swimming around. People swim in the church, taking pictures, and then swim out and drag them back in. Yeah. You got some people just go swim into the church and swim out just see if they're gonna get drugged back in. I wouldn't take no chances like that.
Yeah, that's nothing that I want to test. Like,
because I can't swallow that much water.
This church is underwater.
Yes, the whole city is underwater, the whole town.
And it's a tourist attraction, I guess, for scuba divers now.
Mm-hmm.
And people have swam through the church and they get drugged back into it.
Yes, drugged back in
and drowned.
No, only one person drowned. One or two people drowned in church, but there's a whole bunch of drowners out there.
Dang. You know what the first thing that popped in my mind when you said that was?
What?
Mark chapter number 5, the demon of the Gadarenes, when Jesus going face to face, eyeball to eyeball with the adversary that was in that man. He was in the tombs, cutting himself with stones. But anyways, it went on to where these spirits, these demons asked them, these devils asked them, could they go into the herd of swine? And he gave them leave. He said, go ahead, beat it, creep. And they went into these swine and ran off a cliff into the sea immediately. You know, they were going to their base of operations, the abyss. These water spirits like Oshun, powerful hoodoo goddess. And she's known by many different names in many different cultures. But water is a very spiritual thing, and the abyss is where their home is. So it's kind of wild that in this church of all things, because you know they're wicked and blasphemous, that they're trying to drag people in it and drown them.
But since you mentioned that, there's another lake, man-made lake, down there in Jackson, Georgia. And for any known popular reasons that I don't know about, people had pushed cars out the road, you know, into the water. So
now look at here. One of your fellow Georgians says some people disappear when they go in the water and they never find their bodies.
Yeah, in Lake Lanier, Lake Jackson, and the other lake. Hey, help me out, Georgia boy. There's another lake up there. Lake Allatoona. That's the name of the other one, Lake Allatoona. And since I got a fellow Georgian in here, he'll tell you that, like down there at Lake Jackson, we don't have some scuba divers go down there, and there's catfish wrapped around Volkswagens and old Buicks and stuff. And when the divers see them, they come shooting up out the water, and they never go scuba diving again.
Catfish that are big enough to wrap around Volkswagens.
Yeah, Volkswagens, colors, any car that got dumped down there, they just wrapped around the car sleep. And then you got people go down there looking for them. So that might be another reason why they never found them again. Yeah,
I mean, the catfish bottom feeder. It's like any fish, it can grow to its environment. So if it's left alone, I guess in theory it can grow exponentially. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The world's largest catfish was caught years ago. I think it's been beaten now, but it was found in my hometown. So I believe that. That's a monster, bro. You know that, right? That's a monster.
Yeah.
Like big enough to wrap around a Volkswagen. God almighty.
Like you said, one of those lake spirits. He down there just sleep.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
Until somebody come messing with it, then come in.
Taking the form of some giant catfish. Yeah.
And I mean, them lake spirits, because that's what you made me think about, those giant catfish down there in Lake Jackson.
Lake spirits, yeah. They said that sometimes they have the ability, or some of them in some cultures, and I think it's all across the board. You know what I mean? They're the same type of spirit or type of being, but they have the ability to turn into fish. Like that's a crazy big catfish, bro. That's as big as a great white shark, bigger than a great white shark.
Shit, that's my fellow Georgian. He'll tell you they wrap around.
I believe it, bro. If we can have that in a lake here in Oklahoma, then I mean I can just imagine. You know, I'll tell you what.
There's another lake like that. Well, it's a river, and of course it's about one of them good old insane asylums up there in Chattanooga.
One of those big, beautiful insane asylums that they need to reopen.
Yes, just need to be reopened and refurbished.
Refurbished, fill it up with staff that'll create jobs. Beautiful, big
and more jobs.
No,
I was up there and I saw this speedboat, and he made a wake. But then I saw some other things make a wake going the other way. Now that's not the first time I saw this. So I'm like, what is going on? So I started doing some research. Are there lake monsters in that part of the river? And so I found one of the more good old boys out there, about 6'5", tanned up, red, wearing coveralls. I said, man, is that a lake monster in there? He said, man, there ain't nothing but catfish. Good eating. He said, look, you see that wake right there going against the other wake? That's a catfish. And you talking about a wake like a jet boat shooting across the water. Just smashing the other wake coming from the boats. That's a monster right there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Those are monsters. And they said those are just catfish. They're good eating when you can catch one.
Let me ask you this.
I don't want to see that sucker.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me ask you this. Is there like caverns or coves in these lakes?
Yes.
Yep. There you go. I think they get down there in those caverns and coves and open up to those big pockets under these lakes and just grow exponentially, and there's one that was supposedly stuck. They do diving here. There's one that was supposedly stuck underneath this big tower, set up on the rocks, and you can go down. They do guided swims and guided dives, and you can go off inside these caverns and stuff. I have no desire to do any of that stuff because we know there's other things that are in those coves and caverns as well. That's wild. But so Atlanta.
I got another twist for you.
What's that?
There's a nuclear power plant out there in Carrollton, Georgia.
Okay.
The nuclear waste byproduct that they use the water to cool the rocks with produces an ash. And the ash floats up on the shore. And I went out there with my mom and my stepdad. My stepdad was like, "Hey, don't get too close to that shore." I'm looking at him like, "Be the creep. I don't like you no way. You don't tell me what to do."
Yeah, you don't tell me what to do. You don't know me.
I'm about 10 back then.
You're about 10.
Bone. Yeah, I'll smoke your game over, man. Keep looking at me. And then, what? This catfish comes out the water, a monster, and just starts eating the nuclear ash, and then banks back in the water. I almost peed myself, but I had to look cool though. Like, that's all you got on, man? That's it? I know my knees were shaking, and I politely walked back over to the car, posted up, then had a sat down. Mama looked at me and I said, I bet you listen next time. I was saying to myself, bet you I will too, but not from him. I'm still gonna push the envelope, but what if some of them nuclear eating catfish hit them
there you go.
In them tunnels and get out there and reproduce in these other lakes and streams and stuff?
Yeah, and just creating these reproducing these monsters, these Godzilla catfish.
Yeah, these Godzilla catfish.
It's eating nuclear ash. I don't know if you've ever looked at it before, but there's a bunch of feral dogs outside of Chernobyl. And they were born in that environment with all that, nuclear radiation. You should check that out. I mean, that radiation does a lot to mutate and melt and
that's horrible.
Create these monsters, really. I mean, because those feral dogs over there, you can barely call them dogs. Yeah, they're monsters. They'll kill you. Just like I believe these catfish monsters.
Yeah, and they used to let the employees go out there and catch and release. Who's to say you didn't have a Nimrod? I'm gonna take this and throw it over here in the lake or in the pond, see if it'll reproduce and make me some more big catfishes.
I wouldn't eat them. But I'll tell you what, Georgia, we talk about where the ley lines cross and where all these weird, what they call gravitational anomalies happen. But the gravitational anomaly is just where weird shit takes place.
Yeah, okay, like, I don't know how close this person is to Atlanta, but if he's a regular person or O negative or a person that's aware, he'll notice the areas I'm talking about. You know, the ones I told you, like when I have to go to go through Atlanta, going up 75 to 85, and then going on 75, 85, going up to where it splits 75 to 80 and 400.
Yes, I believe so. You're talking about there's different energy in the air.
Where I just get sleepy and dizzy.
Right.
One area is by Cleveland Avenue. One area is by where the old braid stem used to be at Fulton Street. Another spot is by the graded curve. And the other spot that make you dizzy is over there by Piedmont. It's Piedmont now, but it used to be who's the name of that old hospital back then? The opposite of Grady, because they had a good one. Grady was all the Grady babies, but where the people that have insurance are born at, and then at the other hospital, I can't believe I forgot the name of that hospital, but that area right there.
So this is just in the city itself.
Yes, and then once you go around the curve, right before you get to where Georgia 400 bears out to the right, that's the last spot you'll get dizzy at. And then after that, it's just smooth sailing. I'm looking at some of these people like they just shooting through here. I'm slowing down because I'm getting nervous. Like, God, I can feel these vibrations, these waves.
And see, that's interesting though, bro. That's interesting. You said, like, for all that don't know, he's an O negative, just like I am, just like a lot of y'all are. And with O negatives, if you don't mind, if I give them the lowdown on it real quick so they can have a better understanding. If you're an O negative, you lack a protein around your white blood cell that translates into a heavy metal in the blood. That's why most all O negatives are iron deficient. But when you lack this protein, and that's where the rhesus comes from in the RH factor, because it's a commonality that most people have with the rhesus monkey, RH positive people. If you lack this protein that translates into a heavy metal in the blood, and this protein that wraps around the white blood cell, you really don't have that lag. Let's call it lag. You don't have that lag when the energy comes through the conduit, because we are conduits. So places like that, on 33rd, parallels, and all that kind of good stuff, it affects us a whole lot differently than it would someone who is RH positive. So if you ever go into an area where you just feel confused, or even it's not even confused, and sometimes your senses are heightened, like these areas where these creatures are. Or back in the day, they call them where the ley lines crossed. So it's very, very interesting. The whole state of Georgia seems to have weird stuff like that. There's
spooky.
No doubt that's why they put the Georgia Guidestones where they put them. They're very strategic with that kind of stuff.
Georgia is very strategically built, period. If you just look at it, it's built on the ookie spooky scale. On the ookie spooky scale. All the way around the board. And the crazy thing about it is, I hope my fellow Georgian, he's still in here. I don't care if you're in the small inner city parts of Atlanta, all the way down to the swamps of Savannah. All the cities are constructed the exact same.
Like, as far as the grid,
they look identical, and you'd be like, I know I've been here, and you looking like, where am? Oh shoot, I'm in a whole. Wait a minute, this area looks familiar, but no, it's just the way that they were built.
Are the streets set up on the north, south, east, west, just like the basic grid parallel, or?
Yeah. It's just, and I guess they had one construction guy who built all those little row houses. They all the same.
There's something else in Georgia as well, besides the Georgia Guidestones. It's kind of esoteric and occult.
The old Black Pyramid in Edenton.
The Black Pyramid. Thank you. That's we're past our hour, but this will be the last thing we get into, because you'll be back. You're part of the family. Do you want to touch on the Black Pyramid at all? Or I know you weren't involved.
I sure will. I knew some people personally involved in it.
Yes. So, folks, if you remember, some years back, there was a Black Pyramid in Georgia, and there was this cult that lived underneath the pyramid, or
they lived in the pyramid and around the area. Well, it depends on the rank.
I'll let you tell it. You know more about it than I do.
Wesley Snipes was there. That's why he got locked up.
Is that really why they locked up Wesley Snipes? I remember you telling me about this when we first met.
Yeah, he was doing tax evasion, and he was down there teaching them martial arts, self-defense.
Yeah, it was some sort of crazy cult.
Yeah.
Let me find some stuff on it for you guys.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother. You got it.
Okay. I kept hearing about this area down there, the Black Pyramids, and me. I'm like, Black Pyramids, I'm going to go check that out. Being lost in the South, I was about to go full retard, but then this one girl, she said, you don't want to go there. I said, yes, I do. But this is where the Nuwabians had their area set up. So this one lady I knew, well, she was a young lady back then. She had escaped, and she would not come out of her house. She stayed in the house, and the only way you could talk to her is on the phone, but not too long, because she was afraid that they would find her and come pick her back up. Now, it was set up on a Muslim scale, the Wabbits, whatever, so have you. And it went a little deeper than that, because I knew this family that went out there. The father, he wanted a harem. He wanted all the women, blah, 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 blah. So he took his wife, daughter, 3 sons out there. They changed their names. all kind of, Muslim names, Muhammad, Elijah, Rafiq, all kind of stuff. So anyway, Rafiq, he didn't get a name, but yeah, the other one did. So
it's a compound, bro.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that's crazy looking. So, folks, check this out while you're listening.
Okay. So once you get out there, as you do your teachings and studying, you go up in rank. The more up in rank you go, the more women you can get that's below your rank. So since this Nimrod, this old number that he got there, so his wife started going up in rank. And Elijah Muhammad, the big dog saw his old land like
the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
He said, "Yeah, I want me some of that right there, boy." So he
that's
started
crazy,
paying his wife. And so he's like, well, shit, he hit my wife gonna get me. No, peon, you level 1.
This thing's a small town, bro. It's massive. So, like, can you give us a hint of what we're looking at? Because this pyramid was the size of it was a big pyramid, right?
And it was a no-fly zone also.
A no-fly zone, huh?
Right. Nobody, if anybody came on there, probably flew by, they had full authority to shoot to kill.
These Nuwabians.
Yes. They had, it was a no-fly zone, no interest. I don't know how they pulled that one out. I don't know what will they grease, but they was getting plenty of money.
That thing's massive, bro. I've never seen a sky view of it. That pyramid is huge. These are buildings right here, right?
Yes, because they house several families, people. Now, what it boiled down to, they were involved into human trafficking.
Yep.
And that's how they got busted, because they were running children by way of Chattanooga, Arkansas, on their way to California. They were swapping out children as they went on about their route, taking some out, bringing some back.
That's crazy.
And that's how they got busted. So,
well, good. I'm glad they did. The Nuwabian Nation. This is what Wikipedia says about it, real quick. For those who don't know, because I wasn't very savvy with this stuff. The Nuwabian Nation, or the Nuwabian Movement, or the United Nuwabian Nation, is an American new religious and black supremacist movement founded and led by Dwight York, also known as Malachi Z. York. York began founding several black Muslim groups in New York in 1967. He changed his teachings and the names of his groups many times, incorporating concepts from Judaism, Christianity, UFO religions, New Age, and esoteric beliefs. In the late 1980s, he abandoned the black Muslim theology of his movement in favor of Kemetism and UFO religion. In 1991, he took his community to settle in upstate New York and then near Eatonton, the county seat of Putnam County in Georgia. His followers built an ancient Egypt-themed compound called Tamari, and changed their name to the United Nuwabian Nation of Moors. By 2000, the United Nuwabian Nation of Moors had some 500 adherents. Wow. They drew thousands of visitors for Savior's ceremony, or Savior's Day ceremony. Adherents declined steeply after York was convicted of numerous counts of child molestation, racketeering, and financial reporting violations, and sentenced to 135 years in federal prison in April of 2004. The Tamaray compound was sold under government forfeiture and demolished. The Southern Poverty Law Center, that's the only thing I could find is they knocked it down. I didn't even read this information before. The Southern Poverty Law Center described York as a quote-unquote black supremacist cult leader and designated the Nuwabian Nation as a hate group. The group has taken numerous names throughout history, blah, 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 blah. Let's talk about the founder. Initially, the Nuwabians were considered eccentric but tolerable. Tensions increased locally when the group distributed leaflets attacking whites and claiming racial persecution in a zoning conflict. They had set up a nightclub and a warehouse on their property. They alienated many residents of the area, both black and white. In 1998, the county sought an injunction against construction and uses that violated zoning. So they're messing with zoning law. They're building them a city. It looked like, bro. That place was massive.
It was a city, and it went around because they had Now, this one woman who I know she wouldn't lie to me, had no reason to lie. She said that down in the epicenter, up under the pyramid, in the burial chamber, they had a mummified alien there, and there were also real live aliens walking around in there. And they said on any given night, sometimes you can see a UFO come over and beam a light down to the center of the pyramid, going straight into it. And some things happen. We talked about that, but yeah, she said there were aliens there, and UFOs frequently visited that pyramid.
And I bet that's why it was a no-fly zone, bro.
She saw the aliens with her own eyes, and I know she wouldn't lie to me. She had no reason to lie. So she was the kind of person that would just, feed you fluff and stuff and some crunchy munch. She was a straight shooter.
Was there more than one pyramid there? Because looking at this, I mean, it may just be like a kind of a line on the I'm guessing this is a sky view thing. This looks like a pyramid right here, the brown one.
Yeah, they were like smaller ones there, but that main one was where they did everything at. You did have the small ones there, was like for warehouse and stuff. Because if you had a vehicle, they would make you go out, drive everybody around, especially if you had a van or a minivan or a truck. You had to go out and go get all the supplies and food and bring it back to the compound.
Wow.
They used all their resources all the way down to every nook and cranny there. And like I said, child molestation, they didn't care. At 8 to 80, they
That's
believed
crazy.
In that twisted old code. They just did not care.
That old see,
there was some true pedos.
Yeah, it's a true cult is what it sounds like. And just looking at, I'm just staring at this sky view, this I'm guessing from a plane or whatever. This really does look like there's all sorts of esoteric stuff. It's got the obelisk. Yeah, the obelisk, and at the end of it's another pyramid. It's got the old stage that looks like Satan's seat from the Greeks. Of course, the pyramids themselves, and then this compass up here. It's not even a compass, but in the middle of that looks like a smaller pyramid, which makes an all-seeing eye up at your top left. There's all sorts of occult nonsense in this, bro. These people were out of there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sight to see.
Space Ranger. Man, I wish we could have went there and busted in there and got those kids out when that was going on and shot them aliens. Them so-called aliens, those meat suits that were vessels, biological suits for demonic entities.
Mm-hmm.
But the pyramids, like they did a test on them. And the electromagnetic current at the top of a pyramid is astronomical. So it's pulling down energy into it, and I think it acts as like a beacon for these so-called UFOs. And they say that if you make a pyramid recharging station, I think it has multiple uses. I think that they, like you said, were recharging stations that sent electrical current through the air back in the day, and they powered entire cities. That, and if you go if you like have the pyramid shape above your bed, there's some sort of weird new agey stuff with it, but it pulls spirits down into you. Now, I don't know if you can tell them this. Didn't you know someone where this took place?
Yes.
So there's proof of that.
Yes, I knew this young lady when she was there. She was supposed to be promised. She had to have been about 5 or 6 back then. She was promised to the Great One. And
the Great One.
Yeah.
So
and then they had her on the altar. And then when the light came in through the top of the pyramid and shined on her, it put all these, as she called them,
spirits,
entities. Yeah, she said they were beings, that they were actual. I'm like, what, ghosts, spirits? They dead? She said, no, they're actual entities in her, and they could come and take control of her at any given point in time. And I'm like, she is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But anyway,
not really. I mean,
but I've seen it with my own eyes.
I've seen it too.
I videoed it, and I sent you the video.
Yeah, and folks, I I can attest for the fact that this woman had other people's voices coming out. She had some heavy duty spirit. Yeah. That's what got me hurt. She looked different. When these so-called personalities would pop up, she would look different. Like things that only Daniel Day-Lewis would know to incorporate if she were acting. Because I mean, the way the shoulders are being carried, the way everything was different. These were different individuals inside of this poor girl. I mean, it was a sad deal.
And she could see them, and she would point them out. You can't see them? I'm like, I can't see. Beep.
Yeah.
They right here. And then you remember the video I showed where she went and named each one of them where they were standing. I'm like,
no, I never did see that one. I saw the one. I mean, it's different voices too. There's no, unless you're like Robin Williams, and not even him. You know, there's no way that different voices are going to come out of the same person like that. There's no way in my mind. I mean, folks, when you see that stuff I do, I'm using like AI filters and stuff. I can't do a perfect voice of JFK. I can do the cadence, but these were different voices. Ookie spooky.
So when they got locked up and moved out, then she was promised to his son, the junior, you know, which he is still free. You know, he's up there in New York walking around right now.
Free as a lemon.
And he found her too. He found her. That www and those social media sites. If you want to be found, put yourself out there on social media sites. That's how he found her.
Oh wow! So he's wanting his inheritance then.
Yeah. So at any given point in time, this young lady can get snatched up.
I'd plug his ass too. Pow! Shoot him with that 38. Remember those old Humphrey Bogart movies? You shoot from the hip, shoot him in the belly. That's exactly what that dude to get. Pow! That's crazy though, man. Like, so she was at the bottom of this black pyramid.
Yes. No, down in the basement area, down in the subterranean level, on an altar.
So there's an above ground where I guess like people that would come and it's all put together so they wouldn't think anything's like weird and satanic or anything.
Then they had, you know, other levels going up, other rooms and stuff. But then underground, that's where they got down with the get down.
Yeah. That's why the government knocked that place down a bit, bro. They couldn't dare let anybody go on that property and find those subterranean levels. And they knew about it. How could it be a no-fly zone? If I say the government, I mean, let's say that portion.
Understand know about everything what goes on around this side of Mason-Dixon. They know.
Yeah, of course they did. That's why it was a no-fly zone. These people couldn't say that. Oh, well, you can't fly over our property.
CIA what you gonna put in my pocket? You know, well, we'll pay you X amount of dollars, and then okay, you got your no-fly zone. Or we'll look the other way until you just get two out of pocket. Then we're gonna come see about you. So I guess they got two out of pocket, or they didn't pay their dues. Something happened. They did.
Or the experiment was over. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's another good point. The
experiment was over. That's what I believe is going on down there in Guyana with Jim Jones. Jim Jones there was a picture taken when he was in Guyana of him and a very, very famous CIA officer. And I mean, he was using MK Ultra tactics while he was down there on the Citizen. So it's kind of crazy, bro. It really is.
It's like this one part of Georgia. I want to know what the hell happened down there. It's called Experiment, Georgia. They got the old Experiment train station. Experiment this, experiment that. What were they experimenting down there?
Experiment, Georgia, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you know what they're doing. You know what they're doing. It's been the same since I think the Tavistock Institute in the early 1900s. They are using, and they're running ops on us right now. They are using all sorts of different methods of mind control. They want social media, TikTok. The government has literally come out and said it's a weapon. It's a weapon. If folks, when you ever fall asleep, drop a 1 in the chat. There's no shame in it. There is shame in it, but I've done it myself when I started looking at the YouTube shorts, and that's when I realized something was wrong. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever been watching TikTok or one of the YouTube shorts and you fall asleep and you drop the phone on your face.
I'm gonna drop a 1.
I mean, because this is a scientific experiment. I mean, you can drop a 1 for me.
I did a couple of days ago by accident.
There's a reason I'm asking too, bro. This is
I did
it. It's doing something. It's rewiring our brain. It's firing those synapses off at the pleasure centers because where you just find yourself just thumbing through stuff and you feel hypnotized.
Especially when they got something that you want to watch, but now they done found your algorithm, what you look at, and they give you all your good stuff that you want to look at. You just flipping, looking, then boom, oh shit, I was just sleep, bro.
There's a purpose for all of it, and it where the way it plays the same video over and over and over again, it's rewiring our brains. And honestly, think about it in 10 years with that concept going. People are so inundated with it that they're falling asleep and they're dropping the phone on their face to wake themselves up.
Mm-hmm.
China, who put this out, who put out TikTok, who designed it and everything, they do not have the exact. I mean, if you look at their citizens, they have TikTok, but it's not. If we looked at it, we wouldn't be able to tell what it is.
Nope.
It doesn't look like ours.
And they only got set hours that they can look at it.
That's exactly right. I think it's 2 hours a day for adults, and that includes work. And it's 30 minutes to an hour a day for children, and that includes if they have to use it for school. So if you're doing something for school and you want to go home and get on the internet, you're out of there. And I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know what I mean?
You know, Big Papa Pump, old Trump tried to implement that, but everybody told him he was crazy, he was being racist, he can't do that.
Yeah, he was trying to help us out. I mean, it's a sad deal. And just think, like the generation, a couple of generations beneath us, like the ones that are teenagers now and in their 20s, some of them, not all, but if there was an electromagnetic pulse in a very strategic place in the United States and the lights went off to never come back on, we're talking about this off air. A large portion of the United States would be gone within that first 6 weeks, either by their own hand or.
Those would be your insurgents. All them young children, all these iPhones.
It's the Black Awakening.
I got an iPhone too because of my ex-wife, but I prefer to Google. But anyway, you got these people who live and die by the iPhones and Wi-Fi. If they cut off and just boom, these people would be lost in the sauce, and they'd be like, "Hey, man, where they at? Oh no, well look,
they'd be deader than shit, is what they'd be."
We'll give you a brand new iPhone 25 plus free Wi-Fi. Oh, they over there.
Yeah.
Where the food at over there? These new generation people will be the insurgents to take us down for a new iPhone, for a new iPhone and some Wi-Fi.
Bro, they wouldn't have the capability of taking us down. I mean, you're not going to be able to shoot us with your Xbox joystick. Think about it.
But
all you got to do is disappear into the woods. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I don't know about you, bro, and I do know about you. I ain't gonna say that. But if they follow me off into the woods, they're going to think they're hunting the predator, bro. Some 19-year-old kid looks to cannibalize me, it's over with.
Okay. All right, D, let's go back.
And you met Jack one of these kids up too, bro.
Yeah, I have because, back in the day, we used to play in the woods. D, we used to play in the woods.
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you.
And I was one child, down in the country, and you got these big families. You might have this group called the Clemens, the Tallents. They were like 5 or 6 deep. They were big families. So
yeah,
they be running at you. I'm tired of this. So you throw a rock at them, and here they come. Then you dip off in the woods.
Lead them off into the woods and smoke their game.
Pull a rope, and then you smoke their game. And
pull that old rope and trip 3 or 4 of them.
Then you beat them with that pine tree, throw some railroad rocks on them, take out run again. They're going to come, the rest of them come at you. You pick them out one at a time, or 2, 3 at a time.
Oh, yeah. I had cousins and nephews and swinging from trees like Peter Pan and like they were swashbucklers, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we used to smoke their game in the woods.
And that's exactly what we do to these kids.
Yeah, and they left us alone. They quit bothering us. And they wouldn't chase us in the woods no more.
They're afraid of the woods anyways. You got to think, bro. These are we used to cry because we were kept inside. They cry because they have to go outside. You see what I'm saying? Like I would. That's my punishment.
You can't go outside.
Yep.
Or if you was on punishment, what you doing? Going no. You can look out the window, and that was worse than anything. Looking out the window.
Well, see, I'm a little bit younger than you. I got to play video games, and I remember the days where you would rather be on your bike, going over your friend's house, or going through the woods or something, rather than play a video game. You know, I'd play 30 minutes and sit there and sulk because I was grounded and I had to stay inside. These kids, they turn 21, 22, 23.
2600.
Sorry, 2600. Back in my day it was 64. I'm a little bit Nintendo 64, Xbox.
Yeah, I had a 64. Well, you know, Atari 2600, ColecoVision.
But just think about it. Listen to what
Nintendo came out.
Listen to what we're talking about: Nintendo, Atari, Nintendo 64. They got stuff now that if you would have transplanted the 12-year-old us into modern times, we'd think we're watching a movie with real people on it.
Buck Rogers.
Yeah, it's Buck Rogers. I mean, it's George Jetson in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you take these kids who don't go outside, who don't know poison sumac from lettuce, and you really think they'd do something to us, bro? Come on. Like
you put them back out there where like where we came from, they will foam at the mouth. And
I'm telling you, bro, I'd lead them into the woods and it'd be over with. Like,
what is that? Oh,
they'd think they were after Red Cloud.
Yeah, what's that? Rabbit tobacco. You can eat it. Rabbit tobacco. Yeah,
no
rabbit
kidding.
Tobacco. You know, folks looking like, what is rabbit tobacco?
You remember the end of Apocalypto? Mel Gibson did it. It was about the Mayans, and it was all in their language. It's a hardcore movie, bro. Crazy hardcore movie. But anyways, towards the end of it, he was leading these Mayan warriors into the woods because, you know, he was a jungle bunny or whatever. Oh, that's racist. I shouldn't say that. What do you call him? He lived in the woods. He lived in the woods. So he leads them out there.
It's all racist. A hig, or he was we'll just say he was a woodsman.
Yeah, he was a native of the jungle. There we go. That's politically correct.
Yeah,
he was a native of the jungle. So he leads these Mayan warriors from the city into the jungle.
I was Pharaoh.
I'm telling you, bro. They would think Red Cloud came back from the dead. I'd lead them off into the woods and close my eyes, put my back up against the tree. They'd run right by me.
Mm-hmm. Because you knew them woods. You could run straight through them woods and not hit not one tree limb, not one step in one hole. Paul, you knew them woods like you knew the back of your hand.
All you have to do is break up the symmetry of the face, because that's what our mind clicks on. That's why people see, you know, faces in the woods where there is none, or in the clouds and whatnot. We recognize symmetry. That's what our brain works on. So if you start breaking up that symmetry, you know this. I mean, you're in they're out of there.
Yeah, you know. And then, Lord forgive, but they run to a sticker brow bush. They through.
I'd lead them into one.
Like, bro,
I'd lead them into a row of bramble bush and then jump from a tree with a club.
With an oak stick and just fret them good.
Hey, bro, I never told you this before. I kind of kept it to myself, but it's all right. They don't know what I'm talking about. Listen, hey, it was when I first got back home, right? And this certain person, said that they were going into Brown Springs and it was this big trip and they brought a bunch of people. Well, I got somebody to drop me off down there. And I was there for about 6 hours before they showed up. Bro, I was going from like tree to tree and I hid in some bushes. I was just watching them the whole time. I was making noise and stuff. And like I was making noise and then I tried to climb this other tree. You know, I'm a big dude. I tried to climb this other tree and I stepped on what looked like a knot in the tree, but it was just like a protruding piece of bark and I slipped down it. And I heard them. They're about 30 yards away. I could see them, but they couldn't really see me. And what's that? What was that? Y'all hear that? And they start coming towards me. I was like, oh, shit. So I go. I can't believe I'm telling you this. So I go to the other entrance. And, you know, I call my buddy because he was staying very, very close. I was like, hey, it's Operation Normal, all jacked up. So I was like, hey, you got to get me out of here, bro. So I run back, I circle back around them. And I got picked up where I was dropped off with the whole, I don't want to say how many were in the group, but it was a group. There was a whole group of people, never saw me. And I was making a lot of unnecessary racket too, bro. Like, and by the time they got there, that was like another hour and a half maybe. So I was there like all day. I mean, bro, I was making all sorts of noise and I wanted to start howling and stuff, but then because I mean, it's kind of a valley, so it sounded like it's coming from everywhere anyways.
Yeah.
But I remember being in a tree. Awesome. I remember being in a tree And like I did it real quietly. I broke off one of the branches, and it was a kind of a heavy one, it was alive, and I threw it as hard as I could, trying to throw it over their group, and I think it landed in the tree line right next to him, and just do that. Oh, it was great. But anyways,
you probably had the other creatures out there eating popcorn and berries, something like, look at.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, I bet the real Squatch in there and said, "Hey, ain't that our human? What's he doing? Look at our human. He's trying to pretend to be us, huh?" I don't know why the Bigfoot sound like Goombas.
Take a picture of that, baby, because we ain't gonna see this no time soon.
I'll send you a picture. Actually, I have a picture of it, bro. I have my phone on me. But I have a picture, and you'll see who it was. You'll probably recognize him. But I'm the king of Brown Springs. That's all. Like, I just have to, prove a point.
Oh, I got a picture that I need to send you.
I don't want to see no demons, bro.
No, ain't no demons.
All right.
No.
Every time you say you gotta send me a picture, it's some sort of like.
No, it's from your old boy Barry Brown Construction.
Barry Brown, my old field partner. Man, you got some pretty good, or you had some pretty good pictures, bro. Like, and I hate to say this, but you have the clearest pictures of any demonic entity I've ever seen.
Too many. And video. Like you said, I forgot all about that one. The one you said that it was trying to, it rolled up toward the camera. The one that had like the kabuki mask looking face with the fangs.
Yeah, that one was crazy, bro.
That was wow.
There was a kabuki mask. You had some pictures of some dogmen that were pretty legit. From when you lived in that one house.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't tell. Do you want to wait until the next episode to like tell them about the girl dogman that was courting you?
Oh,
because that's a whole long
ugly.
thing.
Yeah, we're talking
Big
about
ugly.
that in Big Ugly.
She protected you though, bro. I think.
Yeah.
Because they're looking to smoke your game one night.
They was. I wanted smoke.
Man, I wish I could have got up there when you lived at that place, bro, because it was full tilt buggy up there.
Yeah, it was. It was OK Corral. It was wide open.
Yeah, it was about to turn into OK Corral.
Yeah,
because wasn't that was near that air base, right? Like
yeah, that the old airport. Man, they built warehouses over there. They built a post office there. Yeah, they built a post office and an Amazon filming center and one big giant warehouse over there.
A giant warehouse.
Mm-hmm. And a post office.
Well, you know what's going on there.
Airport. Yeah.
You think them creatures are still back there?
Yeah. On the backside where the water at.
Damn.
They're probably pretty pissed off, but it's a concrete jungle over there now.
It'd be interesting to see if anybody's had any. Yeah, no doubt. Well, they don't care. They'll stay on the peripherals and run up there. It'd be interesting to see if anybody's like had any experiences or gone missing even over that way.
Now that's what I want to know. Has anybody gone missing, especially from that railroad yard across the street where they attacked?
Let's look into it. Like I'll look into it with you.
That's another good story. About the railroad yard, but they never let that information leak though.
Yeah. Tell it to me off air first. But yeah, folks, I guess nobody has any questions. So thank you for all the contributors and everything. Thank you to my guests. We're gonna have a part 3. This is gonna be a series because it's just I have too much fun talking to you.
Yeah, we need to talk about that railroad and that World War III shootout they had over there.
Yeah, no doubt. I want to talk about that hangar, bro, because that's when everything was full tilt boogie. Yeah. Everybody says you're the best guest, bro. The last show, everybody loved you. You're one of the best guests I've had on the old or new channel.
I'm just a friendly neighborhood spider, man.
Let me tell you something. Beat it, creep. Let me tell you something. I've interviewed scientists. I've interviewed all sorts of people, but you are a great guest, man. I have a lot of fun talking to you, and it's just a conversation. Like sometimes I forget we're on air. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta kind of watch myself. Like I should have done when I was talking old boy around.
Yeah. Okay. 1 second. But it's just like when you're having a conversation, you just can't make up stuff on the fly and just this stuff happens. Unfortunately, it happened. And sometimes And like
unfortunately, you know.
Yeah, and like I asked you one time, was I cursed because I can't get away from them? But like you said, I was marred by them. So.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think it's necessarily a curse, because everywhere I go, you know what I think it is.
Yeah,
it's a common trait. I mean, you have it. We have some of these,
and they know you, and they know I ain't. The Foots, no, I ain't scared of the Foots. The Foots is the Foots. I grew up with them things. They just there, but it's them upright walking canines. That's just not natural.
Yes.
That's just things of nightmares, you know.
See, and that's what I've come to. But bro, I don't know though, because I mean, look at the serpent in the garden. The serpent was obviously not a snake. It walked on two legs and it would have the ability to speak where he could understand. I think it was a reptilian. So. You know, it was in the garden.
We need to talk about too. You know what I talk about when I saw them things and my dad said.
Oh yeah.
And them black lights, because I don't think people
black lights.
You said you didn't know about them black lights.
What do you mean black light? A black light like
you might talk about them black lights they got here up in around the regular park.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. There's too much going on in Georgia, bro. Like Oklahoma's pretty wide open with weird stuff, but I think Georgia may have us beat. I was talking to Mike from Abnormal Investigations. He was telling me some crazy stuff about where he's at in Oklahoma. So I thought Southern Oklahoma had all the weird stuff, but they may have us beat, bro. They got the Stagini or the Akunakusha or the little people walking around following people down Main Street. I would have turned around and plugged its ass like Humphrey Bogart.
The only little stuff I got around here is them fairies. And
yeah, see, I remember that. There was a member of our group back in the day, the BDRP, that had a video and she was in Los Angeles. This person was in Los Angeles. Did you ever see this video of the fairy that she caught on her?
Yeah.
Was that shit not bananas?
Yeah, I told you I got a video where this one fairy on my camera, if it gets if something's wrong with the camera, it'll put a red ring around it.
Yeah.
And that red ring used to piss this one fairy out. You could see the little fist swinging at the camera and kicking it.
What?
Over backwards. I am trying my best to find that video. I sent it to 3 people, and I cannot find that video. It's the coolest thing in the world.
You know what they say the origin of those are, right? They're the fallen angels. But I hear Junior, he's probably getting restless. So we made it an hour and 43 minutes. Probably go a little bit longer, but if you're willing to do an AM show, I'll be up for a little while. But yeah, folks, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank my guest, Mr. Benjamin. We're gonna do a third and a fourth, probably a fifth.
Well, so you got there, man. That picture's bananas, man. That compound.
What of this compound?
Bananas, ain't it? Yeah, it's bananas.
Yeah, bro. I was sitting there staring at it, like just thinking, like how big this place was. But yeah, I think I might do a little video into it. But thank you again to my guest. God bless each and every last one of y'all. Thank y'all again for the contributors to the channel. If you'd like to become a member, drop down in the description box below, and there's a link for that.
I still can't find it.
Let's see. Hit like, subscribe, and tomorrow we have a big announcement. And I'll save it to the end because I don't want to throw it out there and the devil try to pull a flim flam. So God bless each and every.
I want to apologize to you guys. My voice might sound a little scratchy. We had some water damage, got repaired in here, so my voice a little scratchy. And I'm still waiting on Dawes Boss to drop them old school BDRP throwback hoodies because I want one.
The old throwback hoodies, they're on their way. They're coming. I'm a one-man operation now. So, but yeah, we're gonna get that going. Yeah, with the old school lettering, huh? That'd be awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all again. Thank you for your contribution, Steve Wolf. And y'all have a great night.
Steve-O.
Voila! In view, a humble